The red sky of Mars was calm. The people in Mars Colony 7 were living their normal day. Lyra smiled as she walked beside her husband, Commander Yolan. He was strong, proud, and kind. Soldiers saluted him. Children waved. He held Lyra's hand tightly. "After today we rest," Yolan said, looking at her with tired eyes. Lyra laughed softly. "You always say that." Dane walked through the central plaza. The Martian sun shone weakly through the glass dome above. Life inside the colony was quiet, but outside. The universe was loud and full of danger. Suddenly, Lyra heard a strange noise. A sharp clicking sound. "Yalan," she asked, stopping. Then everything changed. Out of nowhere, black armored robots dropped from the rooftops. 6 of them. Fast, silent. No warning. Jalen pushed Lyra behind. Hyman reached for his weapon, but he was too late. Crack, dash, crack, dash, crack. 3 shots, one after the other, all aimed at Jalen's chest. Lyra screamed. The commander fell to the ground. His eyes wide, blood spreading across his uniform. The robots didn't even look at Lyra. They turned and vanished into the shadows as quickly. As they had come, it was over in 10 seconds. Yalan was gone. Lyra dropped to her knees, holding his body. Her hands shook. Her breath came in gasps. She looked into his lifeless eyes. Still warm, still open. "Why?" she whispered. Nobody came to help. The crowd was silent, afraid, watching, and then something changed in her. She stopped crying. Her hands stopped shaking. A fire burned in her eyes. Lyra looked around. One of the soldiers who had saluted Yalan earlier now stood frozen. She grabbed him by the collar. "Who sent them?" She shouted. I don't know," he stammered. "They were military bots? Who controls them?" "I swear I don't know. I'm just a tech." Lyra let go of him and stood. She saw something shiny near Jalen's hand. It was a small device. His personal datapad. Military issue. Locked by code. She picked it up. As soon as she touched it, the screen lit up. Access. Granted Lyra Arden Yalan. She stared at the screen, confused. "Why would it open for me?" she whispered. A message appeared. "If you are seeing this, I am dead. Don't trust anyone, not even the council. They're coming for the Aegis." Lyra's heart skipped a beat. Yalan knew. He knew this would happen. But what was Aegis? The screen blinked again. Coordinates received. Secure location. Below level 9, access tunnel B3. She took a deep breath. The plaza was still quiet. No one moved toward her. No one offered help. Even the cameras seemed to turn away. She stood, eyes locked with the datapad, holding it like a weapon. "I'll find out who did this," she said softly, "and I'll make them regret it." 10 minutes later, she was deep underground. Colony's lower levels were empty. No light, no sound. Only the echo of her footsteps. She followed the datapad's directions. She stopped in front of a rusted hatch. B3. The door needed a code. But when she placed her hand on the scanner, it opened. Inside was a small chamber. Old wires, dust. A terminal screen blinked in. The corner she approached. The screen showed Jalen's face. It was a recording. "If you made it here, Lyra, I'm sorry. I should have told you everything. But they watched me always. I built something, Aegis. It's not a weapon. It's something more powerful. Something that can stop wars. They feared it. That's why they killed me." He paused. "They'll come for you now, but I believe in you. Finish what I started." The message ended. Lyra sat down, shaking her head. So many questions. So much pain. But also so much anger. She opened the terminal files. Inside were blueprints, maps, military secrets. And one word repeated again and again. Aegis. Suddenly, the datapad beeped. Warning. Location breach detected, enemies approaching. They had found her. Lyra stood. She wiped her tears. She was not afraid anymore. "I'm not just the wife of a dead commander," she said to herself. She picked up a pulse rifle from the locker near the door. "I'm his last command. The emergency lights blinked red in the small underground chamber. Lyra's hands moved quickly over the terminal, downloading Jalen's files into the datapad. Time was running out. Bang. A loud sound echoed through the tunnels. Heavy boots. Metal steps. They were close. Lyra grabbed the pulse rifle, eyes sharp, breathing steady. She wasn't a soldier. She was a teacher before she met Yalan. But today, she would fight like one. The files on the datapad finished loading. Soft beep confirmed it. Transfer complete. Aegis data secured. She turned off the terminal and slipped into the shadows. Just outside the chamber, 2 black-armored soldiers entered. These were not robots like before. These were human commandos. Trained, silent, dangerous. She's inside. Keep your weapons ready, one of them said, but Lyra was already behind them. Crack. The pulse rifle hummed. Sharp blue bolt hit the first. Soldier in the neck. He dropped. The second turned, but too late. Zap. Lyra fired again. The man collapsed with a grunt. She didn't wait. She ran down the dark tunnel, heart pounding, adrenaline burning through her. She had one mission now: escape. 20 minutes later, she emerged into the colony's southern sector. This part was older, forgotten, full of shadows, no patrols. She slipped into an abandoned maintenance station and locked the door. Behind her, finally safe for now. Lyra sat down and opened the datapad. She tapped on a folder marked for Lyra only. The video played. JALE appeared again, looking tired. If you're watching this, then I'm gone. And they've come for you too. He looked straight into the camera. Lyra, I created Aegis because the Council wanted control, not peace. Aegis is a mind code. It can overwrite violence, shut it down in soldiers before they act. I saw it work on animals. It made wolves sit peacefully next to deer. But they didn't want peace, they wanted power. He leaned forward. Aegis isn't complete. You need the last code. Segment tits in an old military AI. Codename Delta 6. It's hiding in the tunnels. Somewhere deep. Yalan paused, a voice. Quiet now. I didn't tell you before because I wanted to protect you. But now, you're the only one I trust. Please, finish what I started. The video ended. Lyra stared at the screen. Her fingers tightened around the datapad. Delta 6, she whispered. She opened the map files. One old tunnel was marked in red. Zone black, access denied. That was where she had to go. 3 hours later, Lyra was in a deep, dark part of the colony no one visited anymore. Pipes hissed. The lights flickered weakly. It smelled like dust and oil. She moved carefully, pulse rifle ready. Every corner could hide death. Suddenly, her datapad beeped. Signal detected. AI source. Delta 6 nearby. She stopped. A faint light blinked from a broken control panel ahead. Lyra stepped closer and touched the pad. A deep robotic voice spoke. Identify yourself. I'm Lyra, she said. Yalan Arden's wife. Silence. Then the voice replied, Commander Yalan is deceased. Accessing legacy trust code. A pause. Trust confirmed. You may proceed. The panel opened. A hidden doorway slid aside, revealing a chamber filled with old machines. In the center stood a strange robot, half broken, half glowing. It had no weapon, only a single glowing eye. I am Delta 6, it said. I need your help, Lyra said quickly. Yalan said you have the last piece of the Aegis code. I do, the AI replied. But I must ask, why do you want it? Looked straight into the robot's eye. Because they killed him, she said. Because they fear peace. And because I'm not running anymore. The AI was silent for a moment. Then it raised one mechanical arm and pointed to a small core unit in its chest. Take it, but once you have it, they will know. Lyra pulled the unit free. Final code obtained. Project Aegis ready. The chamber lights dimmed. Suddenly, the AIs blinked red. Warning. Hostiles approaching. 17 life forms. 5 drones. You must leave now. Lyra turned to go, but the robot stopped her. One more thing. it said. You are not alone. Others fight too. You just have to find them. She nodded. Thank you. It's back. In the surface tunnels, she climbed into an old cargo hauler and started the engine. As she drove, gunfire echoed behind her. She looked in the mirror, drones flying, soldiers shouting, but she was smiling now. She had something they couldn't. Control, something they feared, and now she was ready to use it. Lyra drove fast through the old tunnels. The cargo hauler was slow, but it was strong. The engine roared as dust and fire lit up behind her. Drones were chasing. Their sharp lights cut through the darkness. Her hands gripped the wheel tight. The datapad rested on the seat beside her. Inside it, Project Aegis now complete. Jalen's dream was alive, but the enemy knew, and they wanted it back. Above the tunnel, a drone swooped low and fired. Sparks flew as a shot hit the rear of the hauler. Come on, old girl, Lyra whispered. To the vehicle. She turned a sharp corner, barely missing a broken support beam. Another drone crashed into the wall behind her and exploded. Still, 3 remained. Lyra slammed the brakes, jumped out, and dove behind a pillar. The drones moved. In scanning, she aimed the pulse rifle. Her breathing slowed. Zap, dash, zap, dash, zap. 3 perfect shots. The drones fell one after another. Silence returned. She stood up, heart still pounding. The datapad buzzed with a message. Nearby system AI detected. Link, Echo 12. Lyra frowned. Echo 12. Lyra frowned. Echo 12. She followed the signal deeper into the tunnels. At the end of a broken passage, she saw something strange, a machine, half buried in rock and metal. It blinked weakly. She connected the datapad. The screen lit up. Echo 12. Online. Confirm identity, Lyra. I have Aegis. The AI paused. Project Aegis. Confirmed. Welcome, Lyra. Arden. Commander Yolan trusted me. I will help. Lyra narrowed her eyes. How? I can show you a path. A safe way out of the colony. And I can lead you to allies. Allies. There are people like you. They call themselves the Free Corps. They also fight the Council. You are not alone. Lyra felt something inside. Her shift hope. For the first time since Yalan died, she believed she could do more than just survive. She could win. Show me, she said, with Echo 12's guidance. Lyra made her way through the ancient mining tunnels beneath Colony 7. It was a path even the enemy didn't know. Dark, twisted, abandoned for years. She walked for hours. Her feet hurt, her body ached, but her mind was sharp. Suddenly the path opened into a massive underground cavern. Huge machines slept like giants in the dark. Echo 12's voice came again. This is Site Alpha, once a research center. Now it is quiet, but someone still watches over it. From the shadows, a light appeared, and then a man tall, scarred, holding a plasma lance. Name, he barked. Lyra Arden, she said. I have Aegis. The man didn't lower his weapon. Who gave it to you, my husband? Commander Yolan Arden? He's dead. A long silence followed. The man finally stepped forward. His voice softened. Then you're the fire he left behind. Inside Site Alpha, Lyra met others, fighters, hackers, old soldiers. They called themselves the Free Corps, a small group, hidden from the eyes of the Council. For years they had watched and waited. Now, Lyra had brought them the key. You have no idea what you're carrying, said the man, whose name was Rek. Aegis could end every army in the system. I know, Lyra replied. Rek nodded. Then you also know the Council won't stop until you're dead. I'm done running, she said. Rek looked impressed. Good, because the war is about to begin. Later that night, Lyra sat by herself in the control room. The datapad was open. Final version of Aegis glowed on the screen. It looked simple, just lines of code. But this code could break minds, stop soldiers from obeying violent orders. It could turn armies into peaceful crowds. Jalhin had dreamed of it. And now it was real. She played one of his last video logs. If they find you, Lyra, promise me one thing. Don't use Aegis to punish. Use it to protect. Don't become like them. She stared at the screen. I promise, she whispered. But deep inside, she also made another silent promise. They will regret ever pointing a gun at us the next morning. Rek and the Free Corps planned an escape. You can't stay here forever, Rek said. We'll move you to our safe house on Olympus Ridge. That's far, Lyra replied. To open, they'll find us. Rek smiled. We're not going quietly. We'll lead them into the dust. While they chase ghosts, you walk free. Lyra nodded. She picked up the datapad and slung the pulse rifle over her shoulder. I'm ready. As she stepped outside the cavern, the first light of Mars' second sunrise hit the red dust. In that moment, Lyra knew this was no longer just about Yolan. This was about every voice the Council had tried to silence, every innocent life lost in their shadow wars. This was bigger than revenge. This was revolution. The sun was high, above Mars Colony 7 when it happened. A military dropship flew overhead. Soldiers in black armor filled the streets. People stayed. Inside, windows were locked, doors were sealed. Everyone knew something was coming, but they didn't know who. Deep underground. Lyra stood in a hidden chamber with Rek and 2 Free Corps hackers. The datapad glowed in her hands. On the screen, Aegis was live, fully active. Are you sure? Rek asked her. Lyra looked calm. Her voice was steady. Yes, they killed him. They lied to everyone. Now they will feel what we felt. Beside her, a woman named Naira nodded. We've set the drone swarm on standby. Just say the word. Lyra took a deep breath and tapped the command. Engage AEGIS Phase I across the colony. Something strange began to happen. The Council's security drones suddenly turned in midair. Instead of scanning the citizens, they scanned each other. Then they fired. Boom. Boom. 2 drones exploded near the power station. Others spun in circles before crashing into walls. From the command center above, Council officers panicked. System breach. Drones are attacking themselves. Cut the signal now. But it was too late. Phase 1 of Aegis had rewritten the drone commands. They no longer obeyed Council orders. They followed Lyra. On the colony's edge, a squad of soldiers moved in. Formation. They were looking for Lyra. They didn't know she was watching them from a hidden tower. Rek stood beside her. We could let them pass. He whispered, No, Lyra said. They're not looking for peace. They came to kill. She raised the datapad again and tapped the next command. Target, Unit 71B, Phase 2. Combat override below. The lead soldier suddenly stopped walking, his weapon lowered. His eyes went wide. What? What's happening? Said the other. Soldiers shouted at him, then he turned, fired on his own squad. Screams filled the air, chaos, confusion. Lyra watched without blinking. Rek looked at her. That wasn't just a drone. No, she said. Phase 2 affects human minds. That was Jalen's final breakthrough. Rek paused. Are you okay with this? Lyra's voice was cold. They weren't. Hours later, Lyra sat with the Free Corps team in their underground base. A screen showed live footage of the colony drones fighting drones, soldiers surrendering, people flooding into the streets in protest. Naira grinned. We didn't just hit them, we humiliated them. But Lyra wasn't smiling. Come back harder, she said. The Council always hits back, Rek nodded, and we'll be ready. Just then, a new message blinked on the datapad. Incoming broadcast, Origin. High Command, Earth Council. Everyone went silent. Lyra tapped. The screen, a gray-haired woman appeared. Cold eyes. No smile. This is Supreme Commander Vela of the Earth Council. To the traitor known as Lyra Arden, you have stolen classified military property. You are responsible for multiple attacks. Surrender within 48 hours or we will cleanse. Mars Colony 7. The message ended. Silence filled the room. Lyra stood up. They still think I'm afraid. Naira looked worried. They'll send ships. Real ones. With heavy weapons. Can't fight that, another fighter said. Lyra nodded slowly. Then we don't wait for them. Rek looked at her. What do you mean? She picked up. the datapad and zoomed into the map. "We take Aegis to Earth." Gasps around the room. "To Earth," Rex said. "That's suicide." "It's the only way," Lyra said. "If we fight here, they'll burn the colony. But if we strike the heart, we stop the brain." Rex looked at her for a long time, then he smiled. "You sound like Yalin." "No," she said. "I sound like me." Late that night, Lyra sat alone in the control chamber. She watched the same recording again, Jalen's last message. "Promise me, Lyra. Don't let fear decide for you." She touched the screen gently. "I didn't," she whispered, "but now they will." She stood, picked up the datapad, and walked back into the war room. "It's time to leave Mars," she said. The Free Corps base was quiet. Everyone moved carefully. Some packed weapons. Others loaded data cores and supplies. Lyra stood near the landing bay, checking the final details of the plan. The ship was ready. It wasn't fast, but it was strong, built for long trips and silent runs. They had one goal now: reach Earth and bring Aegis to the people. But not everyone in the base wanted that. In the shadows of the communication room, a woman moved quietly. Her name was Dean. She was a former colony technician, smart, loyal. Or so they thought. She opened a hidden channel and whispered into the mic. "They're leaving in 6 hours. Destination: Earth. They have the code." Yes. She has it with her." She paused, then nodded. "I'll delay them long enough. Just keep your promise. I want safety." She ended the call and hid the device. Outside, Lyra entered the room. "There you are," she said. Dennis smiled. "Just running a last system check." Lyra nodded. "You've been quiet since the council's message?" "I'm just scared," Dean replied. "This is a big step." "It is," Lyra said. "But it's the right one." Dean looked away. "I hope so." That night, the base lights flickered. Power dropped for 3 minutes, then came back. "Glitch in the systems," Dean said. "I'll fix it." But it wasn't a glitch. She had left a back door open for the council to track them. The next morning, Lyra stood with Rek and Naira near the ship. "All systems green," Rek said. "We launch in 20 minutes. Suddenly alert. Incoming hostiles. DITSTITI. The base shook. Dirt fell from the ceiling. "Attack bots." Someone shouted. Lyra ran to the command center. On the screen, she saw them council assault units landing outside. Small, fast, and armed to kill. "They found us," she said. Naira's fingers flew over the console. "They hacked us somehow. The signal someone gave it away." Lyra froze. Her eyes narrowed. "No, not someone," she said quietly. Dean Rek looked shocked. "You sure?" "I saw her near the comms room. She was nervous." She lied. To my face, Naira scanned the logs. There. An authorized signal sent 12 hours ago, coded to council frequency. Lyra's fists tightened. She betrayed us. Gunfire echoed through the tunnels. The Free Corps fought hard, but they were outnumbered. Lyra grabbed her datapad, activated Aegis Phase 3, and uploaded a shockwave command. Across the battlefield, enemy bots froze. Some fell. Others turned and walked in circles. "Go now," Rek shouted. "This is your window." Lyra and Naira ran toward the landing bay. Smoke filled the air. Flames licked the walls. As they reached the ship, Dean stepped out from the Shadows blaster in hand. "Stop right there," she yelled. Lyra didn't flinch. "I trusted you," she said coldly. Dean's eyes were wide. "I didn't want to die, Lyra. I gave them your location, but I told them not to hurt you." "You don't keep promises," Lyra said. "You know that." "I had no choice." "You always have a choice," Lyra replied. Dean's hand shook. Her finger was on the trigger, then dash zap. A pulse shot rang out. Dean dropped to the floor, stunned but alive. Rex stepped behind her, weapon still smoking. "Let's go," he said. Inside the ship, Naira activated the engines. The doors sealed shut. Outside, bots swarmed the base. "Hang on," she shouted. The ship blasted upward through the escape tunnel, leaving behind a trail of smoke, dust, and fire. Lyra sat down, her body heavy. Her mind burned with emotion. Dean had been a friend, a sister, and she sold them out. But she was still alive. Maybe that meant something. Maybe. Hours passed as the ship drifted through orbit. Mars looked small from here. Quiet, but the war wasn't. Over it was just changing shape. Rek entered the cockpit. "We'll make the jump to deep space in 10 minutes," he said. "After that, no one can track us." Lyra nodded. Nira looked back. "Do you think Earth is ready for Aegis?" Lyra stared at the datapad in her hands. "I don't care if they're ready," she said. "I'm not asking anymore. It's the stars." Outside the ship looked peaceful. But inside, Lyra felt anything but peace. She sat quietly in the cargo hold, staring at the datapad. Aegis glowed softly on the screen. All the stolen data. Jalen's final dream. Everything the Council feared right. In her hands, Rek entered the room. "We're approaching Earth orbit," he said. "No one's detected us yet. You still want to land?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. We have one last stop before we strike." Rek raised an eyebrow. "Where?" She looked up. The Black Vault was a secret facility hidden beneath the surface of Earth's old continent, once called Europe. It was where the Council buried information they never wanted the public to see: failed experiments. Mind tech, weapons that broke all laws. Jal once told Lyra, if Aegis was built on anything, it started there. Now she needed to see it herself, to understand the full truth, to know if Aegis was truly a gift or something darker. They landed in the dead zone of frozen wasteland far from any city. Covered in clouds, no satellites, no patrols. The ship cloaked itself and disappeared into the fog. Lyra, Rek, and Naira stepped out in cold suits. Weapons ready. They followed old maps. Yalan had saved paths through tunnels and broken labs. After 2 hours, they found it. A large metal door. Covered in rust, no lights, no signs, only a number carved into the surface. Vault 13B. Lyra stepped forward and placed her hand on the scanner. It blinked red. Then green dot, access GR and Tide. The door groaned open. Inside, the vault was dead quiet. Cold air moved through long black halls. Rows of sealed rooms lined the walls. Computers covered in dust sat like ancient skeletons. Rek whispered, "Feels like a graveyard." Naira checked her scanner, still powered deep inside. They moved slowly, searching each chamber. Weapons, body armor, memory drives. But one room caught Lyra's eye. It had no label, just a small screen beside the door. She tapped it. "Warning, level 10 neurofield research." Rek frowned. "That's mind control tech. Extremely illegal." Lyra opened the door. Room was cold. In the center stood a strange device doll, glowing faintly blue. Wires wrapped around a metal chair. Screens showed brainwaves. Blood pressure, emotions. Naira gasped. "This is Aegis, but old." The first version. Lyra moved toward the screen. She tapped the log files. JALEN single quotes, his name appeared. Test lead, Project Aegis, Phase 0, her hands shook. He had worked here, long before the Council killed him. Before the war, she opened the final test log. A video played. JALEN appeared, younger, tired, speaking into the camera. "This version works, but it's too strong. Not only blocks violence, it removes will. The subject becomes empty, silent, like a ghost." He looked away. "I told the Council we must stop. They refused. They wanted to use it on protesters, rebels, even children. I shut the lab down and destroyed the mainframe, but I kept one piece. I called it Aegis Prime. It's safer, cleaner. It lets people choose peace." The video ended. Lyra closed her eyes. Her voice was a whisper. "He lied to protect me, even from the truth." Suddenly, alarms blared. Intruders detected Council. Security in Bonera spun around. "They found us." Rek checked the map. "Emergency exit North Passage, 300 meters." They ran through the vault halls as the lights flickered red. Security drones dropped from the ceiling. Lyra didn't stop. She tapped the datapad and activated. Aegis, Phase 3, Mind Disruptor. The drones paused, then shot upward and exploded. The team reached the exit. The tunnel collapsed behind them. Dust filled the air. They escaped. Back on the ship, Lyra placed the datapad on the main console. I saw what Aegis used to be, she said. Yalin fixed it. He made it human. Now I know. This version is safe. Rek looked at her. So what now? We end this, she said. No more hiding. No more running. Naira nodded. Broadcasted. Yes, Lyra said. To everyone. To the whole planet. Rek frowned. That'll make you a target forever. Lyra didn't blink. They made me one the day they gunned him down. As Earth rotated below, the ship rose above the clouds. Lyra prepared the final upload. Project Aegis. Public broadcast mode. She pressed the button. The signal spread across the Earths. Networks dash unstoppable. Military bases shut down. Command centers went silent. Soldiers froze, confused, angry, then afraid, because suddenly they couldn't obey violent orders anymore. Aegis was in their minds, and it gave them a choice. Earth burned with confusion. In every country, every city, the same thing happened. Soldiers froze, drones shut down. Military orders failed. Generals shouted, but no one followed, because Aegis had been activated. It was no longer a secret weapon. It was now a choice, and billions of people had just received it. Inside her ship, Lyra watched the chaos unfold on the global network. Screens showed army camps where soldiers dropped their weapons, council patrols standing still, unable to move. One officer even burst into tears, whispering, I can't pull the trigger. Rek watched too, shocked. It's working, he said. Naira smiled, almost laughing. It's working better than we dreamed. Lyra didn't smile. She only nodded. We gave them back their will, she said. Now let's see what they do with it. But in a deep, hidden command bunker under the city of Edrix Prime. The Earth Council was not silent. Commander Vela slammed her fist on the table. We warned her. She didn't listen. Her eyes were dark with fury. Ready the orbital strike ships, she ordered. She wants Warwheel, give it to her. An officer hesitated, but most of our own troops are unresponsive, ma'am. They've been affected. Then we use unmanned force. AI-controlled weapons. No mines to block. And the cities, if they protect her, they burn too. Back in orbit, Lyra and her team picked up the incoming threat. Naira's screen turned red. 3 council ships approaching from lunar base. Full AI fleet, no pilots. Just code and fire. They plan to destroy Earth's surface, Rex said. Massive casualties. They've lost control, Lyra said. Now they just want revenge. But they don't know one thing, Naira added, eyes lighting up. We can fight back. Lyra looked at her. How? We still have Echo 12. That old AI from Mars? I've been upgrading it, Naira smiled. I just turned it into our own combat brain. Minutes later, the free core ship opened a secure channel. Echo 12's voice filled the room. Online. Orders. Take control of Earth's satellite defense grid, Lyra commanded. Engage anti-orbital cannons. Protect the cities. Confirmed. High above the Earth, silent defense satellites came to life. Forgotten relics from the old wars. Massive guns hidden in the dark. As the Council's AI fleet approached, the sky answered, boom, boom, boom. Lyra stood at the viewing window. One by one, enemy ships exploded into flames. The Earth was fighting back. But it wasn't over. Commander Vela appeared again this time. Through a hijacked signal, her face filled every screen on Earth. This is your last warning. The traitor known as Lyra Arden is a terrorist. Anyone helping her will be marked as an enemy. This is not peace. This is an attack on order. Lyra stepped forward into the ship's broadcast chamber. She activated her own live message, and this time, the whole world listened. Lyra stood in front of a camera. Her voice was calm, her eyes full of strength. My name is Lyra Arden. The Council murdered my husband. They called him a traitor because he wanted peace. They said I would break the system. They were right. She held up the datapad. This is Aegis. You already feel what it does. You are no longer machines. You are people again." She paused. "They fear that, because they can no longer control you." Then she said the words that shook the world. "I'm not asking you to fight for me. I'm asking you to fight for you, for your minds, for your freedom." She looked directly into the camera. "This is our war now, and I will not stop until the Council answers for every life it took." On the streets of Edric's Prime, people threw off their uniforms. Civilians blocked Council vehicles. Hackers launched digital attacks. Protests grew into uprisings in the skies above. K-12 fought wave after wave of drones. But the real fight was on the ground, in the hearts and minds of the people. And Lyra had lit the fire. Rhett came to her side after the broadcast ended. "You've started a movement." "No," Lyra said. "We did." He looked serious. "They'll throw everything at us now." "I'm ready," she said. "Are you sure?" She turned to him. "They gunned down my husband before my eyes. I lived through the worst moment of my life. Everything after that is just purpose." Rhett nodded slowly. Then Nira ran into the room. "We've found her," Lyra asked. "The Council's real leader. Vela is just a puppet. It's the one giving the true orders. She's in hiding. A secret bunker under the old Earth Council tower." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Then it's time." She looked out the window at the earth below. Smoke, fire, voices rising, but also something else. Hope and soon justice. Earth was no longer quiet. From orbit to the ground, the planet had become a battlefield of belief. Cities rebelled, colonies declared independence. The Council's grip was slipping fast, all because of one woman, Lyra Arden. She stood at the edge of a ruined landing pad. In New Geneva, looking at the broken remains of the old Earth Council tower, smoke rose in the distance. The once powerful city was now full of graffiti, broken machines, and resistance banners. Rex stood beside her, pulse rifle in hand. "This is where it ends," he said. Lyra nodded. "Yes, where they took him from me, and where I take everything from them." Below the tower was a hidden bunker. Deep, armored, unreachable unless you had the right code. Lyra did. It was left behind in Jalen's last message. A location, a name, and a warning. If you reach her, don't listen. Just end it. They moved underground. Naira hacked the outer gates. Echo 12 mapped the security. Every door opened like it had been waiting. Soon they reached the final vault. Steel. 2 meters thick. A biometric scanner. Lyra stepped forward. The light turned green. Access GR in Thai. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside sat a single woman, older, calm, wearing white. She looked up and smiled as if she expected Lyra. "So you're the fire in his name." Lyra raised her weapon. "Don't talk about him." The woman didn't flinch. Yalen was brilliant, but soft. You're something else." Lyra stepped forward. "You ordered his death. You buried Aegis. You called for Earth to burn." The woman nodded, because control keeps peace. Without it, humans tear themselves apart. "You're wrong," Lyra said. "I'm alive," the woman replied. "That makes me right." Lyra looked around. No guards, no guns. Just this cold, powerful woman who had made 1,000 deadly choices from this very chair. She thought she was untouchable. Lyra stepped closer and placed the datapad on the desk. "You've lost." "No," Lyra said. "People do." Then she pressed the final command. AEGIS, full global release. Every person on Earth, every mind was now free from military override. No more mind-code. No more obedience chips. No more fear. Lyra looked her enemy in the eyes. "I didn't come here to kill you," she said. "I came to make sure you live long enough to see the world without your control." The woman's face went pale. "You can't." "I did," Lyra replied. Then she turned and walked away. Outside, the sky was bright. People were cheering in the streets, not for Lyra, not for a hero, but for themselves, for freedom, for choice. for a life where fear didn't wear a uniform. Rek and Naira stood near the ship. "It's done?" Rek asked. Lyra nodded. "She's not in charge anymore." Naira looked confused. "You didn't kill her?" "No," Lyra said. "Let her feel what powerlessness tastes like." 3 days later, the council collapsed. Officers surrendered. Leaders fled. A new Earth Assembly was formed, built by civilians, soldiers, rebels, and even former council workers who had refused to fire. Lyra refused to join it. She didn't want power. She only wanted peace. At the graveyard of heroes, Lyra stood over a simple stone. Commander Yalan Arden, he believed in a better way. She placed the pulse rifle at its base. "I did what you asked," she whispered. "But I did more too." She looked at the rising sun. "They'll never forget your name, and they'll never silence mine." The people called her many things: the voice breaker, the flame of Mars, the one who ended the obedience war. But to her, she was simply Lyra, the woman who refused to kneel and made the whole galaxy regret ever taking from her.